everyone. So I wanted to come on here and talk about Sun in the eighth house synastry. Now, Sun in the eighth house synastry is an encounter that I actually recently experienced, and it was quite an intense encounter and experience. And I wanted to make a video about it because it's recent that I had this encounter with this individual. So I have a Pisces sun, and my sun is in the eighth house. Now, the eighth house rules the planet Pluto, and sitting on top of your sun, it represents the kind of situations you can attract in a career and your marriage, as far as your husband, and just what you can attract. So I personally attract Scorpio men a lot, and this person sun was in my eighth house. And once you have a sun eighth house encounter, the eighth house person is a lot more eighth house, meaning the eighth house person is more so represents like the darker aspects of Pluto. People don't give Scorpio sun enough rep for how social they are. Yes, so like Scorpios can be private, they can definitely be secretive. They can definitely like to keep it low key majority of the time. But a lot of the times that's just what they're attracted to, but that's not necessarily what they are. Being that the sun in Scorpio, they they more so are attract a lot of people when it comes to like their popularity, because Scorpio represents also like the occult like fan base. Like so people with Sun in Scorpio, they actually have a lot of friends. And they actually are a lot more social. They're just, when they go out in public, they're just a person who is more low key. But in actuality, they're attracted to people who are more low key. They're attracted to that girl over there in the corner who's quiet. They're attracted to that. But that doesn't mean that that's how they are. These people like to get out. I'm talking about Sun in Scorpio. Now, as far as the eighth house person is more behind the scenes. It's like taking a person who's extremely popular underground and then bringing them up to the light. You know, it's like all things hitting being exposed. So what the Sun Scorpio person sees in the eighth house person is, they're immediately attracted. It's definitely like a sexual connection there. It's definitely a sexual pool there that is kind of like without words. It's like we don't have to say anything. We don't even have to be to each other's type necessarily, but we have this attraction towards each other. Um and my encounter with the Scorpio person was very intense because I just couldn't get things off the ground with this person because I felt so naked. I mean, I just felt so exposed. Like, I felt like all my traumas, all the things that I had thought I was trying to heal from, or I thought I was healed from, was being brought up to the surface from this guy. And he was like so trying to get extremely close to me, and like, he was very persistent for 7 months. And he just did not give up, and I just would not, like, I just don't know why I didn't really want to give in, but I felt really uncomfortable. Like, I felt like this person wanted to marry me really fast. This person wanted to have babies really fast with me. And there were a couple instances where I felt cornered, like, it was just intense. And it doesn't have to be in a negative way, but there's a lot of obsession and stuff that comes along with the sun and the eighth house person. On my end, I'm a huge researcher, so I'm able to find all information that's hidden. Like, I'm able to find that information. And this person was just obsessed, with like my physical, I guess, because once the sun person is attracted to the eighth house person, I mean, it's a wrap. Yeah, so I don't know. It was just a very intense, and if you have to be emotionally mature to be in this type of relationship. You have to kind of know who you are, and you have to be comfortable in your skin with this synastry, because one person can end up being extremely hurt. And in this instance, he was hurt first, and then I was hurt after the fact, because I was hurt at the fact that I could not allow myself to be exposed to this person. Like, I just did not want to be that intimate on an emotional level. This person caused me to have a spiritual awakening. And I always say that when you deal with Scorpio and Scorpio energy, that person can bring a certain amount of depth and transformation into your life, without you knowing it. And then when you deal with that person, you're like, my whole life has changed. And after meeting this person, my whole life has changed. I realized that my heart chakra was shut down and that I was closed off. And he came along, la 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 la, and he was just like, knock knock. And everybody else is like walking past the haunted house, and even though it's a beautiful haunted house, everybody's like, I'm not going in there because I don't know what's behind the scenes. But he's like, no, la 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 la, this haunted house is a beautiful motherfucker, and I'm going in. And then when he comes into my house, I have a lot of my furniture covered up because I'm still working on getting my house together. And he's like, this motherfucker is beautiful. Let's let back the sheets on this furniture. And then he just starts walking through my house, like pulling back sheets, pulling back curtains, and opening up doors that were closed that he wasn't supposed to be in. And I'm upstairs in my mansion, in my beautiful house, and I had to press the intercom to tell him to get the F out, because I'm like, now you're doing too much. Like, I let you in here, but you're doing too much now. And that's kind of like that's sort of what it feels like dealing with a person whose sun is in your eighth house. You have to be emotionally and mentally like prepared, and also I feel like, honestly, I think this is a mature synastry, and it's sad because it's like, when you have sun in the eighth house, I mean, it's kind of like you don't attract everybody, because the people you attract, they're going to be intense. They're going to be like, it's like you have every other person while everybody has their person. Like, they have like 1, 2, 3, and you have like 1, 3, you know what I'm saying, 5. You skip people because it's like this placement is very intense to have on your sun. People aren't really going to, they know that you have some depth about you. And Scorpio suns, I'm not saying that they're not deep, but the eighth house is a deep encounter. I mean, the eighth house, on your sun, it makes you a person who likes to do things behind the scenes, and you can attract all kind of walks of people that you even have to escape from. And Scorpio suns, they don't get that, but they do bring transformation into your life. And they also bring that transformation into your life with like no responsibility. Like, they're like not even realizing what the F they're doing. And this person caused me to, since I ran away from love, the universe was like, oh no, we keep trying to bring you somebody and you keep self-sabotaging it, but you saying that you not ready. You are ready. You are ready. Why do you keep running away from people we keep sending you? And I hurt this guy. I mean, I hurt this guy. I hurt this guy so bad. Like, I hurt this guy. He blocked me. He like pulled up on me one night, and I was just cornered in the car. I felt like a fish out of water. I felt like he finally got me all to himself, and he wanted to be so intense because he loved being intense with me. And I just was like, it was a lot of flirtation in our connection. I mean, the attraction is unreal. Like, we stare into each other's eyes for hours. And like, when I met this guy at the gym, by the way, and I don't even want to go into detail because I don't know if he'll ever listen to this one day and like know who he is. But after I got into a concert with him, I got sick. I had a spiritual awakening, and my health got taken away from me. And I really do feel like he was the trigger to that. I really do. I really feel like he triggered my body into like a transformation, like a spiritual awakening. And I literally lost my health for about 4 months now. And it's because I kept trying to run away from my new self. and my evolved self and the person that I've healed from and still living that same energy. And he was the person to kind of bring me out of it. I really do feel like he was sent by the universe to give me a break, um, to show me that, you are ready for love, that you are worthy of love, and that you no longer have to have your defenses so far up because of your past experiences with love. And the way I treated him was just really, really bad. It was just really bad. I was definitely the heartbreaker in the situation. And you know Scorpios, he wanted a family. There is a death component to this situation. I don't want to talk about it, but yeah, it's just you have to be kind of really mature, because the eighth house person can actually be the one who ends up more hurt than the sun person. I personally ended up being physically hurt because I had a spiritual awakening, and then I did fall in love in the process of it, but not till after the situation was over, after I ghosted him, because our connection was just so intense and so strong that for me to just see him every day and not talk to him, and not, like, it was impossible for us to just coexist, around each other. And so I had to kind of leave that facility that we were always at together. And I'm a new person since meeting him. Like, I feel like I'm ready now. I feel like I know my worth. I no longer live in my past, have this like guard up. And yeah, I just wanted to share my experience and my story with Sun in the eighth house, because it's just an intense connection, and sometimes it's not a good connection because the eighth house person doesn't necessarily always want to feel naked and exposed. Like, all of our secrets and all of our traumas and the things that we've healed from or been through, that sun person is going to bring those things back up if you have not brought them to a resolve. Otherwise, I feel like this connection could possibly work if you have dealt with a lot of your demons, traumas, and the things that you needed to heal from. Otherwise, you can become moon mates, and that sun person will not be uncomfortable with still dealing with you, even though you have all those things that need to be healed, which in turn cannot be a healthy relationship in my eyes. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about Sun in the eighth house synastry. And thank you so much for watching my video. Mwah.